Hello everyone, I'll be starting my mock exam 9. It consists of 200 hard PMP questions. So I'll be aiming for first 100 in a go, and then I'll try to do rest 100 in another go, because it is very difficult to spare like 3-4 hours from your normal working hours. When in 2 hours I can obviously spare, but 3-4 hours is too much for a person who is in full-time job. So let's get started. Okay, we don't have a time limit for this. Okay, and it's 11:50 my time. Let's see in how much time we'll be able to do the questions. A project manager is planning the construction of a new library. Okay, the community and project stakeholders are having difficulty agreeing on the key feature to be included in the final design. What should the project manager do? Facilitate a workshop to gather input from all stakeholders, define the difference between essential and non-essential features, involve the design consultant to mediate the stakeholder discussions, identify the root cause of stakeholders' inability to agree on the project scope. I think we should first of all identify the root cause, because there is a problem and we need to resolve it, and by resolving it, how we can do that? Obviously, we need to identify the root cause. Project manager convenes an emergency session with the software development team to address significant bugs that are delaying the project delivery. The product owner suggests conducting a thorough root cause analysis to identify the underlying issues. Okay, what should the project manager do? Okay, and the project owner suggests conducting a thorough root cause analysis to identify the underlying issues. What should the project manager do? Collaborate with the team to discuss the RCA suggestion and decide collectively on the next step. Encourage a lead developer to take charge. Never, in any PMP question, don't delegate any task to anybody else. In that scenario, you're giving away your power to someone else, which is not the right attitude of a PM. So, second is a no. Coordinate with the quality assurance lead to refine testing process based on the RCA outcomes. No. Organize a session to ensure all team members contribute the insights and potential. No. I think collaborate with the team and get the suggestions for the next steps. Yeah, product owner has said something. Now, as a project manager, you should bring your team on board. A project manager overseeing the launch of a new e-commerce platform discovers that finance department has concerns about not being involved in the cost estimation and their potential impacts on the project returns. Okay. Now launch of a new the finance department has a concern. Okay. What should the project manager do first? Amend the stakeholder engagement plan to better integrate finance in future phases. Document the exclusion of the finance team as a risk to project success. Maintain the project timeline but plan a financial review before the final phase. No. Organize a meeting with the finance team to understand their concerns. I think we should meet with the team, but I like this first first option is also a good option. They have concern. What should the project manager do first? Uh, Amend the stakeholder engagement plan to better integrate the finance and future phases. I think setting up a meeting with the finance team is the best option here, because there is a concern that has been raised, and as a project manager it is your responsibility to address to those concerns. So I think fourth is the right option according to me. As a part of a project to integrate a new security feature into an online shopping platform,
Stakeholders have shown concern over understanding the integration process during the planning stage. Into an online platform, stakeholders have shown concern over understanding the integration process during the planning phase. Okay. What should the project manager do to enhance stakeholders' understanding of the integration? Schedule regular demonstration sessions during each sprint to show progress and integration steps. Arrange for a technical team to provide a detailed explanation before each sprint begins. Organize a training session to educate stakeholders about the technical aspects of the integration. Provide detailed documentation on the integration process prior to the start of each sprint. See, providing any detailed information or some detailed summary, it is never a option because nobody has this much of time to go through the detailed documentation and all those things, and it also doesn't solve any problem. There is a risk, obviously, if a person is interested in going through all the documents or not. So it's a big no. No detailed documentation. And never give away your work, as I told you. So arrange for a technical team? No. It's a no. Schedule regular demonstration session during each sprint to show progress and organize a training session. I think if a stakeholder is lacking something, then training is the best solution for that. So here, it stakeholders have shown concern over understanding the integration process during the planning stage. So they don't know how the integration will happen. So as a project manager, it is your responsibility to train them about the technical aspects of the integration. I think, obviously, I don't know, and I'm not someone who is a pro in all these things, but since I'm doing these courses from long time now, and as I told you, I'm aiming, not aiming, I have enrolled myself for the exam on 18th of December. So there are only 16 days left for me to appear for my PMP. It's just my knowledge, like what I'm thinking in my mind, and I'm putting it across to you people so that I'm not get I don't get bored of these questions. So obviously I could be wrong in thinking because this is like first time I'm appearing for it. So anything that is coming to my mind, I'm just saying saying it loud. So moving on to the next question. A project manager is preparing for a sprint planning session for a new feature in a healthcare management system. This meeting aims to determine the amount of work for the upcoming sprint. Which two pieces of information are essential for the project manager to ensure the meeting is productive and effective? Okay, he's planning for the sprint. It is aimed for to determine the amount of work. Okay. Which two pieces of information are essential? Current project phase timeline, product marketplace goal, updated risk assessment, detailed product, I think product backlog, and the team performance metrics. Because uh, he needs to determine the amount of work. So product backlog has all the work that we need to do in our sprint, and team performance metric means like uh, which team members has uh, like uh, how many people we have and what are their skill set and what they will be doing, what they have done. So this is a document about team. So I think these two are a good things to have during your sprint. A project manager is leading an intricate biotechnology research project characterized by significant ambiguity and unpredictability. A suggestion has been made to introduce a system to gauge the quality of the project outputs effectively. Okay, What hybrid technique should the project manager employ to ensure quality assurance? Okay, a project manager is leading an intricate biotechnology research project characterized. Okay, there's ambiguity and unpredictability. A suggestion has been made to introduce a system to gauge the quality of the project outputs effectively. Okay, combine weekly sprint with quarterly external audit to validate. No, I never like these kind of answer wherein we are combining two or three things together. It is, according to me, is not an option. Merge traditional milestone review with agile sprint demonstration. Okay, I like this answer. Adopt pair programming and customer feedback suggestions. Integrate continuous integration tools with formal quality control checkpoints. Okay, so they are saying that combine the we need to identify which hybrid technique is best in this situation. So first is a no. Adopt pair programming and customer feedback sessions. So basically, pair programming is wherein a one developer writes a code and the other developer reviews it. So I don't think it is a best fit for in this situation. So third is also a no. Integrate continuous integration tools with formal quality control checkpoints. As I know, quality control should be done throughout the process. Not like there shouldn't be any checkpoints for those, like at a certain point of time that we need to do the quality control. It should be done throughout the life cycle. So I think traditional milestone review with agile sprint demonstrations. Okay, but mm, either it's second or it is fourth. Uh, Fourth, formal quality control checkpoints. Hmm. Either it's second. Uh, uh, uh. Let's go with the second. I'm going with the second. Obviously, you people can write down your responses on a piece of paper, and then uh, while I review my questions answer later in the video, we can like check which one are the correct. Or what you can do is you can put my responses in. First write down my responses on a piece of paper, and in front of that you can write your own responses, so that when I review my answers, you know like which one of mine are correct and which one of yours are correct. A project manager is overseeing a software development project where the team has prioritized creating a new user authentication system in the current sprint. Midway through the sprint, two developers express a desire to divert their efforts to optimizing database queries, anticipating future performance bottlenecks. What should the project manager do next? Allocate time for the developer to present the optimization proposal. Reinforce the importance of adhering to the sprint's primary goal of completing the authentication system. Request a special session to assess the potential impact. Okay. Request a special session to assess the potential impact of database optimization on future sprint. Support the developer initiative by writing. I think we should reinforce the importance of it adhering goal of completing the authentication system. Yeah, obviously we don't need to divert our efforts to some other thing as per me, but let's see what will be the answer. A project manager is overseeing the development of an enterprise resource planning system and has decided that a combination of Scrum and Kanban technologies methodologies would be most effective. However, the product owner is unsure about how to begin organizing and prioritizing the work. What should the project manager do? Guide the product owner on developing and prioritizing a comprehensive product backlog. Have a team member explain the integration of Scrum and Kanban. Recommend that the project team use visual management tool to improve workflow in visibility. Teach the product owner how to map out. Teach. If somebody is lacking something, teaching is the best option. Teaching and training. A project manager is leading a team on a critical marketing campaign for a major product launch. After unexpected last minute changes, the team worked overtime to meet tight deadlines. The project sponsor has allocated a monetary award to recognize the team's effort. Based on project management practices, what is the most appropriate action for the project manager? Dis- Distribute the entire award to the team who worked the longest hours, organize a team building retreat to enhance morale of the future project, use the award to fund professional development opportunities that will benefit the team in future projects, decide on how to distribute the award based on the informal feedback from the team. I think we should use the award to fund the professional development opportunities. Project manager is overseeing the construction of a new community recreation center which needs to be completed quickly to meet the community's expectations. The project manager's team is skilled, stakeholders are engaged, and community is excited about the new facility. Okay. What should the project manager do to prioritize timely completion? Assign more resources to critical tasks, develop a milestone based project, ensuring regular stakeholder involvement and communication, monitor daily progress in a way that integrates input from the project team to ensure alignment with project, request an extension on the deadline from the project sponsor. First and fourth, I don't think both are option. And since we have a very skilled team and community and stakeholders are engaged, I think we should develop a milestone based project ensuring regular stakeholder involvement and communication. I think I like this second, third is also fine. But let's see. A project manager has begun a complex airport expansion project. Although the project is in the initiation phase, the sponsor keeps asking for concrete dates for the most important project milestone. Project is in the initiation phase. The sponsors keep asking for concrete dates for the most important project milestone. When will the project manager be able to provide the requested information? It is in initiation phase. After initial risk assessments are completed to estimate the timeline, At the end of the planning phase, one detailed schedules and risk assessments are completed. During the execution phase, when the project is underway and progress can be measured, once the project charter is signed, as it will outline the initial milestone. Mm, okay. I don't know anything about this question because I don't know in which phase we do the milestones and estimation. I think we do it in planning phase. In planning phase, we plan everything and when will the milestone be achieved and all those things. Project charter does not doesn't have any milestones. Okay. So in planning phase, we develop the project management plan in which we define the scope, requirement, define a scope, create WBS, schedule management, define the activity, sequence the activity, estimate the activity duration, develop schedule, plan cost management, estimate schedule, determine budget, plan quality management, stakeholder management, and everything. And in execution and monitoring phase, we actually do the work, right? So I think it should be in planning phase. Let's milestone in WBS. Milestone. Schedule management. In schedule management, we do milestone list is the output. Sorry. Okay. So it's in planning phase. So the planning phase. At the end of the planning phase, once detailed schedule and risk assessments are completed, a project manager is overseeing a large scale infrastructure project. In a hierarchical organization, the project team members are used to receiving direct instructions and their performance reviews are based on task completion percentages. Okay, after discussing with the sponsor, the project manager realizes that some of the tasks need to be reassigned to meet the next milestone. This could this change could be perceived as a negative reflection on the current assignee's performance. What should the project manager do? Assign the task to the most skilled member, hold a team meeting to explain the change and collaborate on reassigning the task. Privately ask a team member to take over the task and inform the other. Send an email to the hold a meeting. Project manager is leading a city park renovation project during a status meeting with the city officials. Project manager provides an update about a significant deliverable. Some of the officials claim they were not informed about this deliverable. What should the project manager do next? Confirm if the project scope has been updated to include the deliverable. Meet with these officials to review the communication plan and clarify the deliverable. Check the attendance record of these officials at prior project meeting. Review the project documentation to ensure the deliverable was meet with the officials. A project manager is overseeing the construction of a new office building. A key stakeholder complains that they never received the structural integrity test status report. The project manager provides the report, and the stakeholder notices that an important aspect of the structure was not tested. Which tool should the project manager have used to prevent this situation? Hmm. Quality aspect of the structure was not tested. Communication log is not an option, and stakeholder register is not an option. Quality management plan or requirements traceability metrics. Requirements traceability metrics is basically where mm, quality quality traceability metrics. Okay. Requirements traceability metrics. Okay. Quality management plan. A component of the project or program management plan that describe how applicable policies, procedures, and guidelines will be implemented to achieve the quality objectives. A component of the project plan how implemented quality will be in policies and procedure guidelines. Okay, I think then it will be requirements traceability metrics. Hmm. R. Requirement a grid that links product requirement from their origin to the deliverable that's satisfied. Okay, so it should be requirements traceability matrix. Huh. A project manager is overseeing the development of a new healthcare system facility. The project team is struggling to understand some critical aspect of the project scope. A senior subject matter expert from the organization headquarters is available for 1 week. What should the project manager do to benefit from the SME's plan? Conduct a workshop with SME to address the team challenge, discuss with the SME the specific scope issues the team is facing, arrange for the SME to provide training session to the team, have the SME review the project documentation for alignment. Uh-huh. Project team is struggling to understand some critical aspect. They're struggling to, I think, training session should be the answer. Our project manager is leading an agile development project, a new customer relationship management system. Okay. Midway through the project, the team receives feedback from the legal team regarding new data protection law that the project must adhere to. Okay. Which two actions should the project manager take next? Direct the product owner to prioritize the data protection feature in the future sprints. Request detailed information about the new laws from the legal team. Have the legal team implement the compliance measure. Plan immediate integration of the compliance requirement to mitigate any legal risk. Conduct an impact analysis. Yeah. Detailed information and an impact analysis. Project manager is initiating a new software development project for a client known for their vague requirement and challenging communication. The previous interaction with this client have often led to misunderstanding about the project scope and deliverable. What strategy should the project manager implement to prevent these issues? Apply a phase development approach to validate the project scope at the each milestone. Collaborate with the product owner to establish a clear MVP. Enhance team client communication protocol to ensure better clarity and feedback. Implement strict deliverable schedule to force clarity in client interaction. Shooting a new software program for a client known for their vague requirements. Previous interaction with this client have led to misunderstanding of the project scope and deliverables. I think phase development approach to validate the scope at each milestone. In the midst of a software development project, following a predictive life cycle, a significant portion of the software is set for incremental delivery to the client. The experienced team responsible for this portion has expressed a desire to take on more decision making responsibilities traditionally handled by the project manager after each delivery. What should the project manager do? Schedule a meeting with the senior management to seek their guidance, support the team's initiative to take on decision making, retaining final approval authority for critical decision, maintain the traditional decision making structure where the project manager oversees all, all decisions regardless of team's readiness, consult with the project's team. I think support the team. This is servant leadership attribute, I think, wherein we give charge to the team to make the decisions. Project manager is overseeing the development of a new software tool. Although the tool isn't fully finished, the product owner has decided to release an early version MVP. Okay. A key stakeholder, the vice president marketing, is unhappy with the limited features in the launch. What should the project manager do to ensure better satisfaction for future? Work with the team and stakeholder to adjust the future release timeliness based on the expectation. Set up a process where stakeholder can provide feedback before future release are final. Take control of communication with stakeholder to ensure everyone understands the project timeline. Ask the project sponsor, I think, first work with the team and stakeholder. Project manager is overseeing an agile project for developing a new mobile application within a large tech company. Initially, the project manager planned to use email for all project communication. However, the product owner suggests using a specialized project management tool that better integrates with agile workflows. What should the project manager do? Evaluate how using this new communication tool could impact the current timeline and workflow before making a decision. Update the communication management plan to fully adopt the product owner's preferred tool and inform the team of the change. Have the team test the proposed tool on a small part of the project before adding whether to implement it or not. Continue using the email for major announcement. I think he should evaluate. Let's read the question first and then the answers. I'm getting bored. Prioritize and address the impediments based on their impact on the most valuable features of the platform. Conduct a risk assessment to evaluate how the impediments might affect the project timeline. Implement a phased approach to solving these issues, starting with those that impact the current sprint. Remove the items and add the new items. During the development of a new cloud-based analytics platform, the team has raised concern about certain product backlog items that are challenging to implement due to technical and resource limitations. What should the project manager recommend for the product owner to do? Conduct a risk assessment to evaluate how this might affect the project time. I like all these three questions, to be honest. Answers first, second, and third. Prioritize and address the impediments based on their impact on the MVP of the platform. Conduct a risk assessment to evaluate how the impediments might affect the project timeline. Implement a phased approach to solving the issues, starting with those that impact the current sprint. What should the project manager recommend to the product owner? I think phased approach to solving the issues, starting with those that impact the current sprint. Create a detailed timeline with milestone to monitor project progress and control changes. Introduce a rigorous change control process to validate the and approve additional future requests. Promote regular synchronization between the development to discuss project schedule and what work to do first. Organize workshop with major stakeholder to collaboratively create the project charter and definition of done. A project manager new to agile methodologies is overseeing the development of a software tool, observing that other projects stumble without a well defined project scope and completion criteria, leading to continuous scope expansion. The project manager wants to prevent similar issues. What proactive steps should the project manager take to establish clarity and prevent scope creep? Mm. And the other project stumbled without a well-defined scope. Okay, there was no well-defined scope. Okay, and completion criteria. I think then this was something that answers this. Facilitate a session to revisit and clarify the project goal with the entire team, with the project sponsor to ensure alignment on the project objective. Make sure the project outcome is aligned with project charter and scope statement. Assign the department heads the responsibility of resolving these differences throughout a project. It becomes apparent the team member from different departments have different perspective on what the final outcome of the project should be. What should the project management do? First, facilitate a session to revisit and clarify the project's goal with the entire team. Adjust the project financial forecast to account for the economic downturn, such as the project sponsor that project should be postponed, redirect some project resources to support other essentials projects within the team, identify and document new risk in the risk management, and create a mitigation strategy. A project manager is overseeing the construction of a new manufacturing facility when an economic downturn may suddenly threaten the project. What should identify and document the new risk in the risk management plan and create the mitigation strategy. Advise the team member to focus on current deliverable, review the project charter to confirm the high level scope, develop a detailed plan for the entire project based on history, confirm with stakeholder, and plan the full project scope. A project manager is starting a highway expansion project. The state transportation department requested an initial environmental impact assessment after which they will decide whether to continue. A key team member suggests planning for the full project based on past trend. What should the project manager do? Confirm with stakeholder and plan the full project scope. Hmm? I don't understand these solutions, to be honest. Advise the team member to focus on the current deliverable. Okay, review the project charter to confirm the high level scope. I'm not comfortable with the response, but let's move because it's already 40 minutes and I have only completed 25 questions, so I have to be quick enough. Align the project plan with the organization's strategic goal, working closely with senior management, develop a training and communication management plan, ensuring collaboration with the team, create a detailed budget and schedule regular reviews with the finance department, coordinate with the operational department to minimize disruption during the upgrade. A project manager is overseeing the upgrade of an old manufacturing system to a new automated solution, aligning with the organization's operational process changes. The project charter is approved and the PMO has provided template for all new projects. Yet should the project manager prioritize, align the project plan with the organization's strategic goal, working closely with senior management. Verify that all project objectives have been met according to the project plan. Conduct a final inspection with the sponsor to ensure all tasks in the WBS are complete. Ensure all project documentation is complete and archived. Conduct a final project performance review with the stakeholders. A project manager has just completed the development of a new city park and is preparing to transition to the project to the city's maintenance department before closing the project. What should the project manager do? Hmm. I think verify the objectives. Inspection is should not be done by us, I guess. Documentation is complete. I think documentation is also an option. I think documentation should be completed. A project manager needs to prioritize multiple projects within a portfolio and requires accurate budget estimate. The process must align with agile principles while ensuring reliable financial planning. How should the budget of each project be estimated? A project manager needs a prior 9 years to prioritize multiple projects within a portfolio, require accurate budget. Okay, estimate. The process must align with agile principle while ensuring reliable financial planning. Have the product owner conduct a thorough requirement analysis with the team to forecast the project budget. Use analytics software to model potential costs based on predictive analysis and historical data. Leverage the combined expertise of the sponsor, product owner, and child coach to their budget estimate. Calculate costs by estimating individual tasks. No, this is not. Mhm. Budget estimation. Mm, this is expert judgment. This is the predictive analysis and historical. It is the analogous estimates. And have, I think let's just go with the expert. Initiate a project kickoff workshop to ensure all team members are trained on the agile tools and techniques used for the project. Establish a risk management framework that specifically addresses potential misalignments between team output and expectation. Develop an integration plan to systematically align development work with ongoing marketing and sales strategies. Ensure the project vision and objective for each sprint were effectively communicated to all team members. A project manager is overseeing a large scale agile project to develop a new e commerce platform. At the project's retrospective, the team discusses that the product owner's expectation for the sprint deliverables were not fully met. What proactive measures should the project manager have taken? I should have established a risk management framework that specifically addresses the potential misalignment between the project and stakeholder expectations. Although I like this answer fourth one, ensure the project vision and objectives for each sprint are effectively communicated to all team members. Let's just go with the risk framework. Convene a meeting with the project steering committee to discuss the features. Initiate a discussion in the next team meeting to gather collective input on the feature. Refer the question to the technical architect to provide an expert interpretation of the requirement. Collaborate with the product owner to resolve the ambiguity in the acceptance criteria. A project manager is leading the development of a new customer support system. During a sprint, a developer encounters ambiguity regarding the acceptance criteria of a feature. Or should I think he should collaborate with the owner to resolve the ambiguity of the acceptance criteria. Schedule an emergency meeting with the stakeholders to brainstorm the solution. Initiate a quick training session for the technical team. Enhance the problem solving capabilities. Record the problem, its current impact, and urgency in the project's issue long for structured tracking. Organize a team building event to boost morale and encourage innovative thinking for problem resolution. During the execution phase of a software development project, the team encounters a technical challenge that jeopardizes the scheduled delivery of key functionalities. The technical team has indicated a delay. What should the project manager do next? Hmm, I didn't like any of the responses. During the execution is happening and the team encounters a technical challenge which jeopardizes the scheduled delivery of key functionalities. Okay. The technical team has indicated a delay. What should the project manager do next? In this initiate training session, emergency meeting with stakeholders, record the problem, organize a team building event to boost morale and encourage innovative thinking for problem resolution. I don't like any of these answers, but most Valid is the fourth one according to me. During a pivotal project phase, it was revealed that critical stakeholders did not attend a meeting focused on confirming the project's strategic alignment and expected business benefits, resulting in their feedback being overlooked. This oversight has led to conflicts within the decision making process. Attend the meeting focused on confirming the project's strategic alignment. Okay. What should the project manager do first? Initiate a discussion to directly address and understand the concern leading to the conflict. During a pivotal project phase, it was revealed that critical stakeholders did not attend a meeting focused on confirming the project's strategic alignment and expected business benefit, resulting in their feedback being overlooked. Oversight has led to the conflict within the decision making. Initiate a discussion to directly address and understand the concern leading to the conflict. Have a senior team member do a meeting. Update the project risk register to reflect the potential impact on the project timeline. Brief the project stakeholder on the situation to set the realistic expectations and potential delay. Okay, proactively collaborate with other two members to formulate a plan for transition and mitigate project disruption. During a crucial phase of the project, a pivotal team member informs the project manager of their impending resignation, intending to submit their notice to their line manager soon. This revelation comes at a time when their contribution is critical to meeting the project's upcoming deadlines. What should the project manager do? I think proactively collaborate with the team. Recommend dividing tasks into subtasks, improve manageability and estimation accuracy. Have the team use new estimation techniques that would better reflect the complexity. Encourage the adoption of fixed point system for all tasks to streamline effort. Have the team recalibrate the point system to better differentiate between simple and complex tasks. In a software development project, as the team moves into the development phase, they decide to utilize time tracking to estimate effort, with 1 hour of effort equaling 1 point. Some tasks are estimated at 5 points, while others at 200 points. To enhance the project's accuracy in scheduling, what should the project manager encourage the team to do? I think recommend dividing the task into subtasks to improve manageability and estimation accuracy, because 5 and 200, that 200 means 200 hours of work, so it's too much. Sorry. Have the team incorporate insights from technology consultants to refine the project specification. Establish a comprehensive risk management framework to anticipate and mitigate potential delay. Assist the team in proposing a MVP. Organize workshop with the development team to solidify the project's technical requirements. A tech startup is gearing up to launch a groundbreaking breaking app by the upcoming summer. However, during initial planning, they encounter significant uncertainty in the project. They are not sure in the project specification. They are not sure how stakeholder will use the product. Okay. What action should the project manager take to ensure the project stays on track? I think they should go for the MVP. During a large scale event planning, the project manager notices a growling list of logistical challenges reported by various team members. Although these challenges have been acknowledged in team meetings, few have been effectively resolved, leading to potential risk for the event success. What should the project manager do? Schedule additional planning sessions specifically focused on logistical. Assign a dedicated team to focus solely on identifying and resolving logistical. Prioritize the logistical challenge based on the potential impact on increase the frequency of team meetings. Prioritize the logistical challenges. Initiate one-on-one briefings for stakeholder needing detailed explanation. Organize a workshop to keep them evaluate the specific information need of the stakeholder. Launch project blog that provides updates in various levels of detail. During the execution phase of an urban development project, the project manager uses email update to keep all stakeholders in the city informed. Feedback indicate that some stakeholders find the information either too technical or too general. What should the project manager do? Evaluate the specific information needs of the stakeholder. Increase the frequency of project status making, reallocate resources to the most delayed aspect of the project, adjust the project timeline to accommodate the unexpected delay, facilitate a collaborative session with the team to pinpoint and tackle the delays. During the deployment phase of the new telecommunication network, the project encounters significant delays. To identify and mitigate these delays, what action should the project manager take? Reevaluate the project scope to identify non-essential and that can be postponed. Adjust the project timeline by sequencing work to allow for parallel activities. Increase the project budget to allow for the overtime and additional resources. Use advanced technology by automating to automate certain construction processes. A key stakeholder requests that project manager deliver a critical infrastructure component 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Pragma and assess the situation, determine that accelerating the project schedule is possible by overlapping certain processes. What is the most effective course of action for the project manager? Reevaluate the project scope to identify non-system. Reevaluate. It will be a time-consuming thing. Adjust the project timeline by sequencing work to allow for parallel activities. Increase the project budget to allow for overtime. Use advanced technology to automate certain construction. I think it's first or the second. Let's go. Because it says overlapping, it also says parallel activities. Arrange for regular one-on-one meeting with each developer to discuss and document their progress. Develop clear quantifiable criteria for evaluating developer performance and communicate these as standards to the team. Utilize software development metric like line of code to directly measure developer productivity. Conduct anonymous survey among team members to gather insights on individual contribution and teamwork. At the outset of a software development project, the project manager is tasked with devising a strategy for assessing the contribution of each developer. These assessments are to be compiled and presented to the organizational leadership at the project conclusion. What should the project manager? He should develop a clear, quantifiable criteria for evaluating the developer performance and communicate these standards to them. At the beginning of a new environmental conservation project, a key stakeholder expresses concern over the project's approach, fearing it won't meet the intended environmental impact goals and will exceed the initially forecasted budget. What should the project manager do? First, organize a meeting with the stakeholder to understand their concern and identify potential improvement. Launch a pilot phase to demonstrate the project's effectiveness and adjust based on early results. Enhance communication. No, outline the long-term benefits and sustainability. I think I should meet with him. Negotiate with the other project managers for temporary resource sharing to expedite the hardware upgrade. Initiate an assessment to evaluate the impact of the delay on the overall project and timeline. Implement a reward system for technical team to incentivize faster completion of the hardware. Engage a consultant. In the midst of implementing a new healthcare IT system, project manager faces a challenge. The initial phase involving the upgrade of existing hardware is behind schedule, impacting the subsequent software implementation phase due to shared technical teams. Initiate an assessment to evaluate the impact of delay on the overall project. I like this first also. Negotiate with other project managers for temporary. Let's go with the first. Although I like the second one also, but still, I know a project manager has to be a negotiator. I don't know in what respect. With vendors, I do know, but within team, if he should be a negotiator or not, will we will know once I submit it. Mm. Proceed with the design team's recommendation to maximize energy output. Organize a collaborative session to discuss the impact and find a compromise. Commission an independent review of the turbine placement's impact. Uh, Postpone the decision on turbine placement until further data can be gathered. At the midpoint of a renewable energy project, the project manager is faced with a conflict between the design and environmental consult regarding the feasibility of a postponed proposed turbine replacement. The design team believes the replacement will optimize energy production, while the environmental consultant warns it can lead to significant ecological disruption. What action should the project management take to resolve? I think collaborative session. Update the product immediately to include the suggested scenario. Note the suggestion for inclusion. Integrate the executive feedback into an appendix of the current report. Encourage the executive to formalize the suggestion through the change process. After a new project is executed, executive suggests incorporating a new add-on to provide more function to the product. What should the he should encourage to go through the CCB. At the outset of an urban regeneration project, the project manager observed that although team morale is high, meetings often diverge into unrelated conversation, causing them to overrun and decision to be postponed. What is the most effective initial action for the project manager to take? Schedule shorter meetings, designate a timekeeper to ensure meeting adhere to schedule timeline, emphasize the meeting objective and agenda at the beginning of each session. Introduce a digital platform team member to share their non-project related discussions. Schedule a dedicated session where only the technical analysts present their finding to the team. Actively solicit the analyst input during meeting, emphasizing the importance of the expertise to the project success. Create an anonymous feedback mechanism where the analyst can submit their insight without picking up in the meeting. Wait for the analyst to naturally become more comfortable. During routine progress update session for a multinational project, a project manager notes that one of the key technical analysts, although exceptionally knowledgeable, rarely contributes to group discussion despite engaging actively in private conversation. I think this doing nothing is not an option. The fourth one. Prioritize the work to meet the agreed upon specification. Accepting a project timeline may need to be extended. Suggest a partial delivery of the project to the client with non-compliant feature to be updated in future. Propose a compromise on the specification to the client, reducing the scope to match the current state of the consult with the development team to find a faster solution that could reduce the delay while adapting to meet the specification. Just before the final review of a new software, the project manager is informed by the quality assurance team that several key features do not meet the predefined specification agreed upon with the client. Correcting these issues will likely delay the project delivery by several weeks. What should the project manager consult with the development team? Consult with the team. Build a cross-functional team. Distributed the specialist task among several team members from the project outset. Established a comprehensive documentation practice for on project. Allocated additional fund to hire a temporary specialist if needed. During a critical phase of an agile development project, a specialist responsible for designing a key component is unexpectedly required to take extended medical leave. These specialist tasks are now at risk of delay as they were the sole individual equipped with the necessary expertise. What proactive measure could the project manager have taken to mitigate the risk? Cross functional team. Develop a risk breakdown structure to categorize the risk, conduct a sensitivity analysis to determine the impact of specific risk, utilize a cause effect diagram to trace the origins of each risk, perform a Monte Carlo simulation to forecast potential project outcomes. In the planning phase of a large software implementation project, the project manager decides to conduct an extensive analysis of potential risks associated with the project's timeline and budget. The goal is to understand the likelihood of project completion within the defined parameters and identify which variables most significantly impact the project's outcome using many different perspectives. What technique should the project manager apply to evaluate the Monte Carlo simulation? Incorporate the regulatory changes into the project risk log for future and plan to address the regulatory changes in the next CRM system development. Integrate discussion of the regulatory changes. Request immediate detailed information on the changes during the next product update meeting. On a project to develop a new CRM, the project manager learns during a stakeholder meeting that upcoming regulatory changes will affect data handling process within the system. The changes are expected to be enforced shortly after the project's planned completion date. What is the most appropriate action for the project manager to ensure the project remains compliant with the new regulation? Integrate the discussion. I was aiming for 100 questions, but now I'm tired. It's already 1 hour, 10 minutes. So I'm just submitting my 50 questions and I'll do 50-50 like this. Okay. Can't I submit? Oh my god. Do I need to go through all the questions and then submit it? Oh god. Hmm. So let's open my calculator. How much percentage I got? Oh my god, 36. I think I passed with 80%. Let's calculate 36 divided by 50. Oh my god, it's only 72%. Oh my god. I think I'm doing very poorly in my mock test. Hmm. I needed 38 divided by 50. 40. I needed 4 more questions. Let's review the report. Okay. First is right, second is right, third is right, and fourth. Okay. So it says integration process. Regular demonstration sessions provide stakeholders with a clear, iterative view of the integration process, allowing them to see progress firsthand and ask questions in real. This approach fosters transparency, continuous engagement, and iterative feedback, ensuring that stakeholders remain informed throughout the project. By incorporating demonstrations into each sprint, stakeholder can develop a practical understanding of the integration rather than relying solely on technical explanation or static documentation. Rather, arranging for a technical team to provide may offer initial clarity, but it does not provide ongoing visibility into the integration process. Without continuous engagement, stakeholder may still struggle to fully grasp the involving implementation. Organize a training session has the general knowledge but does not provide the ongoing real world insight that come from seeing the integration in action. Training alone is less effective in addressing evolving concerns. Okay. Providing the detailed documentation on the integration valuable reference material, but written documents are less effective. Scheduling regular demonstration sessions ensure that stakeholder remains engaged, informed, and aligned with the integration process. This transparency and encourages feedback and enhance customer confidence in the product. As a part of a project to integrate a new security feature into an online shopping platform, the stakeholders have shown concern over understanding the integration process during planning stage. Okay. Our project manager is leading an intricate biotechnology research project. In biotechnology research project with high ambiguity and unpredictability, continuous quality is essential. Project program ensures quality at every risk by incorporating brilliant collaboration, problem solving, resolving design before they escalate. Okay. Customer feedback session further enhances quality by validating whether the research outcomes align with stakeholder. Merging milestone reviews with agile sprint demonstration, but without a defined frequency, gaps in quality oversight may occur. Continuous feedback may have a more effective and highly uncertain project. Isn't it an uncertain project? Okay, ambiguous and unpredictable. Combining weekly sprint with quarterly. Okay, the product owner plays a critical role ensuring the tasks are clearly defined by guiding the product owner in backlog development and prioritization. The project manager ensures that the team has a structured workflow. Okay, this answer is not right. I didn't read it, I think, correctly. Yeah, this answer makes more sense. Stakeholder register. Okay. Stakeholder register. Product owner to define and ensure that the project starts with a clear and agreed upon scope, reducing misunderstandings. Okay. Have the team test the proposed tool on small part of the project before deciding whether to implement it across the entire team. So test it on a small scale, okay. Before making a full transition, this allows the team to evaluate whether the tool truly improves agile workflows without disrupting the current process. Okay. Prioritize and address the impediments based on their impact on the most valuable feature of the platform. When backlog item present technical resource challenge, the product owner should prioritize resolving impediment that affect most valuable feature. This ensures that the development team can focus on delivering high priority functionalities while working within existing constraints. Okay. प्लेटफॉर्म ठीक है. Review the project chart to confirm the high level scope. Why the other option like advise and focus on current is important, but without first reviewing the project chart and the project manager lacks the necessary context to provide power. Developing a detailed plan for the entire project based on history is premature, as the project's continuation depends on the outcome of the environmental. So at this point, okay, I reviewing the project. Ensuring collaboration with the team. Okay. A project manager is overseeing the upgrade of an old manufacturing system. Okay. Okay. God. Okay. A final inspection. Okay. Before transitioning the project to the city's maintenance department, the project manager must conduct a final inspection with the verify that all deliverables have been completed as outlined in the WPS. This step is part of verify process scope, which precedes the closing phase and ensures that verify scope. Okay. Formally, the sponsor approval is crucial for confirming that the project is ready for handover. Okay. Agile budgeting relies on team-driven estimation. Okay, where the development team provide task-level estimates based on their expertise and current workload. Okay. Okay. Hmm. That's, I like this response, obviously. Okay. Yeah. Project vision and sprint objectives. Okay. When the technical challenge threatens the project schedule, the project manager first step should be to document this. Okay. Initiate an assessment. Before taking any corrective action, the project manager must assess the impact of the hardware upgrade delay on the overall project timeline and budget. The evaluation will help determine the extent of the issue, identify dependency, and inform the best course of action to mitigate the risk. Okay. It's unclear. Okay. Okay. Is it 50 questions? Hmm. Hmm. 50 questions are done. Okay. I'll complete my rest of the questions, like 50 questions tomorrow or more than that. I'm, I'm really disheartened to be honest because I have my exam in 16 days, and if I'm performing like 72%, it's not a good number. I should at least get 80-85% so that I have good score in my PMP. But let's hope for the best.